Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Ron again here, and we're gonna talk about life. We're just gonna talk about life in general. Just gonna shoot it from the hip right now. Some of you know that this is just like practice, right? So I got another one coming up. It's gonna be branded, get the logos and all that. So what I'm gonna talk about today in this episode is where are you now in your life? And is your life pretty good right now or it's not that good? I think I'm talking to some of you right now that your life right now is in shambles because times are hard. People aren't making enough money. That's number one. The average American is struggling. And there's people who are living with family or friends right now and they're trying to make ends meet and it's really hard. Like let's say you go in with family or friends, you got to hold up your end of the bargain to stay at a certain place, and that can be difficult. And if you do have friends that take you in and they don't really stress you doing a lot, but you do your share, you're blessed to have a place to call home even if it is temporary. And I myself, I'm one of the people that survived the Lahaina fires back in 2003, 2023. I'm sorry, 2023 in August 8th. And for me and a lot of others, we're going on year number three, and a lot of people don't know what's going to happen to them. Where are they going to live? Some of them, they're pretty much tapped out financially, and there's not any more help financially that's going to people from Lahaina that needs help. So a lot of people are really finding out that going into year number three, which is 2026, August 8th, 2026 is going to be 3 years since the fires. So people that I'm talking to right now, or right now that I'm talking to, maybe you're the one that's really your back's against the wall. And like I said, if you are staying someplace, maybe you're working just half of what you were and making a little bit, at least you're making something and you're doing all right. Count your blessings because there's people worse off. And let me talk about the people who are actually worse off right now. I know some of them through experience and knowing some people, they're living in their cars right now and they're showering at, they're cleaning themselves up at the beach parks when they can. They make friends with the rangers or whatever, or they go to the YMCA if there's one close by, or they'll, barter. They'll go to a friend's house and say, "Hey, can me and my kids use your facilities?" And for a small payment, or they barter like, "We'll clean your house, we'll do your yard work for us to just at least get our bodies clean and whatnot." It's a tough time, guys. It's tough for businesses. It's tough for individuals with the snap thing going on and shutdowns going on. People are really scrambling, like seriously scrambling to see what what's going to happen in the course of one day, you know. So what's the solutions? I mean, are you thinking of any solutions? Is there any solutions out there for you? I know some people can't get government help because of the shutdown, or they're working and they're making some kind of money so they can't get help. So it's really hard to pinpoint, because I know some people, I go, well, how come you're not getting help from the government, like right after the fires? And they go, well, I'm staying with people that make money. They look at the household. Maybe they filled out the wrong forms or whatever. But people are generally, that I know, even in their hard times, they're alive. Like I said, some of them are sleeping in their cars, some like part time in their cars. They'll stay with friends maybe twice a week and whatever, just to like not to like overstay their welcome. And then you got the other people that just overstay their welcome, and then that causes friction. So I'm just kind of touching base on how you guys are doing, and I'm gonna get into the life coaching thing. So I won't be telling you what to do, but I'm just asking questions throughout some of my videos. Some of my videos here on this channel is just free for all. I'm gonna have another channel that's, like I said, is gonna be branded, and it's gonna be more focused, driven on families, individual families, just pretty much geared to getting better in life and getting having peace of mind and helping people find solutions. I'll be doing interviews of people every walks of life, hopefully people with money, people struggling, and just try to build a community where everyone will try and help someone out, even if it's not monetary. It'll be through wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully, I can interview mental health experts, people who are in the spiritual. I wouldn't say business, but basically, a lot of it is business. Is they're not taxed. So talk to clergy, talk to pastors, talk to spiritual advisors in different religions. If anything, just kind of shooting the breeze here with you, and I'm not trying to have a discussion right now too much. It's just I'm putting ideas out there, because if you're struggling, especially with your mental health, you need to talk to somebody. Don't hold it in. Again, I'm not afraid to say it. I go to therapy because the therapist is like a neutral person. Although I do have one or two good friends that I can tap into, who won't judge me, who won't offer advice only if I ask them, and I can trust them, because you need to unload, especially if you went through some devastation like what we did in Lahaina almost 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. There's a different factor, because we saw destruction, we saw our town burn down, our homes burn down, people died in the fire. So it still lingers, and we're trying to get back on track. But it's different. Everyone's different. Someone who just had a divorce, that can be devastating, thinking their spouse is going to be there for them all the time, and all of a sudden the spouse just up and left, started fool around or whatever it is. And we're human beings, and there's a lot of broken people. And even if you're not totally broken, you got to speak up. There's something bugging you, maybe it's minor, talk about it. And that's basically the business I'm going to get into is basically, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like Christianity or spiritual or whatever. It's just going to be common sense, helping people find out what's wrong, and find out what their goals are. And just by talking to people, it'll shed light on people who need the help, for them to get off their their couch and go seek help. Because there's one thing I learned is that I can't really offer advice. Let's say I gave people advice. On a whole, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Maybe 2 out of 10 people I would give advice, they never take it. I mean, the 2 out of 10 people would take the advice, and were they successful? No. Does that make sense? So if I talk to 10 people, 80% or 8 out of the 10 people wouldn't take it. Doesn't make sense when I speak. Or the two, they kind of listen and go, hey, Ron, you got something there. Would take the advice, but then not follow through on it. So what I'm learning about being a life coach is just listen. Listen to people, and listen to key things, and ask them the why. So in this video, I don't know what you're going through. I really don't. Again, hopefully I'm talking to someone that really is down, and what I say today can help you. All right. So, or maybe somebody who's really down. So if you are really down on your luck, I don't know what it is. It could be any issue relationally, it could be financially, it could be whatever it is. Why are you down? Okay, so that's the question. If you're feeling down and out, why are you feeling down and out? And you can answer that, right? So if you are feeling down, why are you feeling down? Have you spoken to anyone about your feelings of why you're feeling down? All right. That's the first step. It really is important to be honest and say, well, first of all, you got to be honest to yourself or with yourself and say, okay, I'm feeling down. I'm a little depressed. I'm a little anxious. Why am I feeling this way? All right. So let's say the cause is multiple, but the big one is financial. And so let's say you say it is financial. So I'm going to ask you, are you doing anything about your financial situation? If not, why not? If you are, what are you doing to help your financial situation? And only you can answer that. All right. So let's say the answer is no, you're not doing anything. I can say, why aren't you? Don't you think you need to do something if you do have a situation like that? Or if you say, yes, I'm getting help, and I would ask you, since you're getting help, are you getting help from someone experienced in finances? And you say, well, from my friends, they're successful. And I'll say, well, okay, if it's your friends that are successful, are they giving you, do you think they're giving you good advice? All right. Do you think your friends who you claim is successful financially, whatever, are they giving you good advice? And if so, are you taking their advice seriously to help you financially? And you'll say, maybe your answer deep down inside is no. Hey, Ron, it ain't happening. And I can say, if it's no, then you need to seek, well, why is your answer no? Are you planning on seeking maybe professional financial advice by someone who went through the same issues you have? Because when you say financial, it could be a myriad of things that's affecting you financially. All right. So it's a process of uncovering a lot of things, because as a human being, we have a thing called ego. Our egos can get in the way. You ever heard of the story of, man, you get in the way of your own self? Well, to me, yourself, your ego gets in the way. Maybe it's your pride. You don't want to seek help. So I'm going to ask you, or you got to ask yourself maybe, why is the advice I'm getting from my friends not the advice I need? It's not working. There's got to be some other issue, not just the finances. Okay. So then maybe you tell yourself, or you tell me, hey, Ron, my relationship, my partner just doesn't get it. And then I'll listen to you, go, aha, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Your partner, your life partner, marriage or whatever, and again, I don't discriminate, if same sex, opposite sex, whatever it is, that's your business, not mine. I respect everybody. So whatever, your partner maybe is bad with money. And this is so basic. Wait, Ryan, you talk about this all the time. Well, sometimes you gotta talk about the basics all the time. So maybe your partner isn't well with saving, or your partner in these times, let's say both of you just have regular jobs. And I mean this out of respect. You're not making a ton of money, but you're hard workers, both of you. But your partner lately seems to like, oh, we paid the rent. Let's just use your portion to buy food. And they're like really jaded. They don't care. They go on Amazon, buy a whole lot of stuff that you don't need. And maybe they're doing that because it feels good. And some people, they look at numbers and they go, well, my partner, if I do this, my partner is going to have this much money. I'm just going to use my money to treat myself. Well, if you're in a marriage or relationship, it's a partnership, you can't do that. You really can't. You gotta be honest with your partner and say, "Hey, look, I wanna take a trip and plan it out. Don't just if you have a plan already, well, your partner's depending on your paycheck and vice versa. So if one of you decide, well, the rent's paid, but the electric bill isn't paid, but you say, well, we'll just use your portion of the check, but I don't want to use mine to make myself feel good and buy something. So maybe that's the issue. It's financial, but why is your life so messed up at the moment with your finances? So, life coaching, I'm learning, it really helps out. It's been helping me out see the light because a friend of mine is getting me into it, and I'm going to try and get certifications on different subjects to help people out and do my other podcast, which is going to be strictly on helping people. But that's what I'm into right now. We need to help others get better. I'm not a certified doctor or a psychologist, so I can't offer like if you have some kind of emotional trauma, depression, anxiety, or suicide ideations. That's not me. I can't offer any kind of advice or even talk about it. I can just say, if you're really depressed, see a professional, see your doctor. If you got insurance, even if you don't have insurance, you're really depressed, go see someone that a medical doctor at first. It could be a physical issue, but we're talking about just life in general. So let's say we uncovered why you have a financial problem. It was there, your spouse or your partner and your life partner. Maybe it's you that decided, hey, our bills are paid, but I'm going to use this money to go on Amazon and buy $200 worth of stuff I don't need, but it makes me feel good. The partnerships, the relationships, that's a lot of times is the biggest issue when it comes to finances. And if you're not in a relationship and you're bad with your finances, guess what, guys? It's all on you, and you got to coach yourself. Or see a life coach, see a mentor, and I'll be doing that once I get my certification, and then maybe we can work something out on a Zoom. But it's uncovering issues, like they say in life coaching. Everyone has the answer, but the life coach kind of like peels the layers of the leaves of the onion, the pieces of the onion, and gets to the core of why. And by asking questions, it's almost like interrogation, almost, but won't ask loaded or leading questions. It's just pretty much straightforward. The questions that I'll ask you is, you just matter of fact, you tell me why. I won't ask you like, oh, maybe you're doing drugs. You're doing drugs, I won't lead you on that way or be loaded with the loaded questions and try to get an answer that I think should be the answer, and that's not right. You should tell me when you're good and ready what the answer is. So I'm gonna cut this short. Again, I'm gonna get into more of the life coaching thing and being positive. And I know some of you go on my Facebook, Ron Sombrano, Ronald R. Sombrano. You're gonna look, hey, I'm f bombing. I'm also like I'm a frustrated comedian. I'll poke fun at people. Hopefully, it's not really vile stuff, and if it is, I'll take it down. But we all need to laugh, and I come from the old school. I'm serious, and I think a lot of people these days are just too touchy. They're too emotional. They can't take a joke, and I did a not an F, a Facebook a thing on our local politician, and it wasn't bad at all. But people aren't in the know of why I posted it. Some people do, and they go, "Man, you're a genius." I go, "No, I'm not a genius." But see how some people actually know what I wrote and why I wrote it. It wasn't bad at all. There was, but people are so touchy, you know. Oh, You can't do that to this person. Say, I didn't do anything. This person's in the public. And last I checked, if you're in the public, I got the right to voice my opinion on you, right? And that's for another thing. But when I come to this kind of thing where life coaching, we're trying to help somebody get out of their funk, get out of their depression or anxiety only to a certain extent. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not trained to do that. But if you're depressed because maybe your job, you don't like your job, then I can help you at least plan out in your mind what needs to be done by asking you questions. And I'll be a good listener when I get my certifications. I'll be a good listener. You can call me no matter where you're in the world. We can do Zoom. I'm going to get new equipment and hopefully I can get going soon. I'm on Maui right now. I may relocate to the mainland US. I don't know. But again, if you are struggling, ask yourself honestly why you are struggling. There's a reason why people are struggling. There's people out there, okay, really fast. People out there that's making good money. They're in the black. Well, maybe not in the black. They're in the red, but they make their payments every month. Husband and wife or domestic partnership. Again, not discriminating, but they're making things work. But then they're unhappy. Some guy, why are you unhappy? But they're afraid to speak up because they're afraid they don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. They don't want the parrot to hear, and the parrot's going to repeat what they said. But you go to a life coach, like myself, hopefully I get certified soon. You go to a life coach. Life coach is like the priest, like the Catholic priest. Anything you say to that priest in confession is between you and the life coach. All right, so I'm going to shut up. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you're in some downtime right now. I like to say you're in the nay right now, right? Don't be in the nay right now. The nay, the negative, right? Don't be one of those naysayers like, my life sucks, won't even get better, right? Don't be that. But be in the positive, be elevated, humanize yourself, rehumanize yourself. Don't ever dehumanize yourself, right? And stay away from the naysayers. Hang around people that will be positive with you and at least listen. Find someone who will just listen and not talk too much. Okay, I'm Ron Sombrano. Until next time, I want to say aloha from Maui, Hawaii.